Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now August 21st of 2020, and ever since the very end of the Skywalker saga, a lot of fans around the world have been very intrigued about the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney, Lucasfilm, and of course Bob Iger and Bob Chapek, and what they have in store for the future of the franchise when it comes to their TV shows, their movies, their books, novels, comics, and more. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the one thing about Disney Star Wars is that we do know that as of right now, it is indeed heading in a better direction, given that Kathleen Kennedy has little to no creative control over the Star Wars franchise. She only has control over the Leslie Headland Star Wars TV series, and that's it. And that's honestly great news, because after all, when we look back at what happened with Solo, and especially with The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, the three major Star Wars films that really had a lot of problems because of Kathleen Kennedy. Now, as for Solo, it was more so related to the reshoots than the story itself, because of how much more money it cost Disney. They went way over budget by reshooting 80% of the actual movie. Now, Bob Iger and Chapek, they are making sure that they're going to have no failures moving forward. They want to actually have a high success rate. Essentially what that means is they want to have as much successful Star Wars projects in a row as possible. They want to have a streak of successful Star Wars TV shows and movies over the next decade of the 2020s and beyond. Now, the thing about all of this is that Bob Chapek knows what the fans want. He knows exactly what the fans are into, and that's exactly what he's going to deliver. What's really exciting, after all, is that with both Disney and Lucasfilm now fully invested with their new Star Wars universe, they are also embracing the new Star Wars trilogy of movies, as well as a handful of Star Wars TV shows for Disney+. Now, it's explained that just recently Disney CEO Bob Chapek has been approving many of the TV shows to become greenlit by Lucasfilm, where production will begin as early as 2021 for many of the projects, with official announcements for some slated for next summer. Now, it's described that one major TV show that Bob Chapek recently approved and greenlit was a young Luke Skywalker TV series that would focus on Sebastian Stan taking the mantle of Luke Skywalker some years after Return of the Jedi. It's described that, of course, the show would not just focus on Luke, but also the new/next generation of Jedi that fans barely saw in the Disney canon of the sequel trilogy. So once again, this is Disney's opportunity to expand Luke's life and the next generation of Jedi that we only got a little glimpse of in the comics, mind you, in the Rise of Kylo Ren comic line. Moving on. Now, not just that, but this series is actually aimed to also involve a live-action version of Mara Jade. Now, the live-action versions of a young Luke and Mara are aimed to be teased in The Mandalorian Season 3 for 2021 in order to give fans a little glimpse of what's to come for the young Luke TV series. Now, Bob Chapek is the one who pushed this idea to move forward, given that Disney already made a young Han Solo film, and that he wants to make the young Luke TV series happen in order to keep the Skywalkers relevant. So this is also a matter of keeping the Skywalkers relevant and very important in the franchise. They know that the Skywalkers are what sell. Whether they have to recast or not, they want to keep the Skywalkers alive in live-action form. Now, the show will also go into great detail of the early life of Lor San Tekka, the older man who was killed by Kylo Ren in the beginning of The Force Awakens, portrayed by Max von Sydow, a lifetime friend of Luke who helped protect and discover Jedi lore from the remnants of the Empire and the infancy of the First Order. It's described that the show is also set to bring a return of the Knights of Ren well before Kylo Ren was even ever the leader, and will focus on the single character Ren to be at least one of the few villains in the planned series that they aim to drop sometime in 2024. Once again, guys, this connects to the comics in the Rise of Kylo Ren comic line. In there, we do learn about the villain known as Ren. Now, in the comics, spoilers by the way, Kylo Ren kills Ren and takes up that mantle as the leader of the Knights of Ren. Now, originally Disney aimed to make this story happen in 2023. However, major setbacks came into place with the global pandemic that delayed the production of the show. George Lucas, Jon Favreau, and Dave Filoni are all said to be involved with the creative choices of this planned Star Wars TV series that will be very Jedi lore heavy and will tap into new secrets of the Force that the fans have never known about. This is Disney's attempt at fixing the character of Luke in order to make him an acceptable character in the Disney canon, and that they want to expand his life in several ways, not just in television, but also in books and major video games with full campaigns that will stretch the story of Luke's young life before reaching into his 40s and 50s. So once again, guys, like I say, they really want to expand Luke's life beyond what we saw in the sequels and in the comics. Now, originally, Kathleen Kennedy surprisingly did not want this project to be developed or to actually have come into existence, since she felt that Luke was not only no longer relevant, but that Kennedy believed that they needed to focus away from Luke in order to evolve the Star Wars brand for the new Star Wars fans being introduced to the canon. So, once again, this is another, piece of proof here that Kathleen Kennedy just does not know what she's doing. The fact that she did not want this to happen, as, Disney was trying to push the overall idea, which does indeed connect to the old rumors back in 2017 that they were aiming to deliver a young Luke TV show, pretty much approving it right around when The Last Jedi was going to release. I guess that was kind of like thrown off to the wayside, given that there was backlash against how Luke was used, and they weren't quite sure if Luke was going to be still relevant. In my eyes, you can always keep Luke relevant as well as, as long as there's really a good story to tell, right? So here's the thing about this entire scenario, is that here we have Bob Chapek. He's in a position where he has a lot of creative control. He is allowing George, John, and Dave to work together as a team to deliver something very authentic for the fans to enjoy, and to really deliver something that's really going to be quite remarkable, if you will, that's going to connect to the old Star Wars Legends material by bringing back Mara, Jade, and a young Luke. Now, like I've said before, a lot of people out there, especially casual fans, don't know about Mara Jade. It's more so the hardcore fans that were really involved with the comics and the books in the 90s and the early 2000s that really got to know about Mara, even with the books, right? The books really dived into Luke's young life, and that's exactly what Disney wants to do now with this new universe. Now, beyond all of this, what's even all the more exciting is that they also want to focus on the new generation of Jedi. Now, we really never got to learn all that much about them in the Rise of Kylo Ren comic line. Yes, we do get to learn a little bit about their fate by the hands of Kylo Ren, but we don't really get to know a little bit more about their backstories, right? Which is exactly what they want to dive into with this planned series that they aim to drop sometime in 2024. Given that 2020 is essentially over, we got to go through 21, 22, and 23 in order to actually see this series at home on Disney+. So originally they wanted to drop this thing in 23, but given, of course, with the global pandemic, a lot of productions have actually come to a halt, with a lot of other movies out there not even associated with Star Wars, and even other TV shows out there. It's one of the main reasons as to why, a lot of movies like The Matrix 4 and John Wick 4 have been delayed, and so on and so forth. So I'm honestly very psyched to see exactly how this is all going to come together, how the fans are going to react to it all. It seems like that Disney's really come into their senses, especially not just with the Kenobi TV show, but with incorporating Ahsoka Tano into live-action form, with the Mandalorian TV series, and her having her own TV show. And, that's just the beginning. That's really just the tip of the iceberg here of how Disney's reaching their potential of what they can really do with Star Wars as a brand. That's exactly what they want to embrace. They want to take advantage of all these popular characters and really expand on them. Kenobi, Luke, and Ahsoka is just the beginning. They also want to look into other popular characters that we know about very well. So like I've said before in the past, guys, I think that this really does open up the tunnel to the point where we are going to be in a position where The community is going to be reunited in a couple of years, back to the way it was pre-2012, I would say. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to